So I'm installing LEDs on the bike. I want to do LED turn signals, brake light, and headlights. So I got this kit here from Clear Lights. I got it from Thurn Motorsports, but it's Clear Lights brand. And these look pretty nice. They make them in clear or smoked. So these are just plug and play, really. They just plug into the stock connector. It's already got the connector on there. But then these up here, the front turn signals, so they have 3 wires, but they only give you a connector with 2 and then this loose one. So these 2 are the flashing yellow turn signal, and then this white one is for like a running light, I guess. So this part is the yellow turn signal, and then right down here you got these white running lights, which are pretty nice, but the white running lights are like really bright. So if you well, basically, if you want to hook them up to your bike, let me show you. See, the turn signal connector is a three wire setup. So you got your turn signal, running light, and then ground. So you gotta change that connector. And what I found, I just searched on eBay and I actually found this kit. I just typed in like Honda motorcycle connectors, and this has every connector on the VFR. So that's pretty cool. I've been replacing a few of them. For instance, the last guy, they had an alarm system, so the turn signals had all these extra wires on there. So I took all that off and I actually put it in a quad connector just to make it easier to disconnect. And then that's the stock brake light right there. And this is the license plate light. So that's another cool thing about this one is it's got a built-in license plate light right there. So I also cut this off to shape this so it'll perfectly fit the license plate. And these holes right here where the stock license plate light was, and then your license plate mounted on that, like down here. So you can just take those off and you don't even need to add anything. The brake light has it already on there. So the reason, but anyway, those connectors will work perfectly. That's what I'm going to use to switch it over to a 3, put all these 3 in one connector, 3 wires. But the reason they did it like this is it's a European company, and I guess in Europe they don't have running lights. They only have turn signals. So they give you this, like all this extra junk. There's like no instructions is the weird part. Or they're like really bad, they're in German. But they give you this stuff to like somehow connect that 3rd wire to your European bike. And the reason is, I actually replaced my controls. The ones that came on the bike were pretty sun damaged. So I got these new ones, but the best ones I could find were from Germany. So these are European controls. And you see here it's got, it's weird, you can turn your lights off, or your headlight. Why you would do that, I don't know. You could have like just your parking lights, and then I'm not even sure what that does yet. But I tried it out, and you can turn the headlight off. And then over here, you got your normal turn signals. But then in the front, you got this button, passing. It's like a trigger. It's pretty cool. So I guess that's supposed to flash your headlight, which again I don't see the point because this is like super easy to do. But whatever. Anyway, so what I found out though is apparently the European bike, the turn signal flashes on and off, whereas on the American bike it switches from low beam to high beam inside the turn signal bulb. So the running light would be constant low beam, and then if you switch to turn signal, it would switch, flash between the two. So these are the wires coming from the left-hand control unit. And on a European bike, you're missing this connector. So it's only those two connectors right there. And this is wired directly into the switch right here. So what it actually is it's the same parts, but there's a little piece in there that's got paint on it on the European one, so it can't make a connection. And that's because I believe that so I think it has yellow lights on all the time in Europe, but it's the turn signal that's always on, and then it switches off and on when you do your turn signals. So that's why they only need two wires, where we have two different levels of light that it switches between. So I just put the American ones back in there, and these go to up here. This is normally in here, but this one on the end is that this here, which goes to this, which is for the running lights. So I'm curious if European bikes have this connector. Anyway, so anyway, their bikes only have two wires on the turn signal. So what I did was I took the turn signal mechanism out of the old one and put it in this one, so I can still use the 3-wire setup. Because these things are so bright. They're not like on the stock bike, it's a low orange light to a high orange light. Where the running light is this really super bright white light. So if you have this on, like on a European bike, this would always be on, and then this would flash on and off when you do the turn signal. The problem is this is so bright, it's hard to see this. So it's weird they set it up like that if this is a European company. But in America, if you hook up 3 wires to your bike, if you switch the connector and use the 3 wires, this should turn off while this is flashing. So this is how cars do it a lot. So you have both your running lights on, but then this one would stay on, but this one would turn off while the flasher's on. So kind of weird, but hopefully that'll work when I set that up. Another very important thing is right here you have your flasher relay for the turn signals, and when you're switching to LEDs you need to switch to an LED turn signal, otherwise they're going to flash really quickly, so this slows them down. There might be vice versa, but it corrects the timing of the flashing. The one that came with these kits was just like just had a hole to mount it. Oh, I took it off, but the back, you know, on the bike you have this piece of rubber that's on this connector. So I just took a piece of plastic and bolted it to the back of the flasher, and then you can slide it right on there. And then as for the headlights, this is the headlight unit. Honda did the weirdest thing. Actually, I don't know, I think it was just a money thing. But this is like a specific Honda part. And if you look at the tabs on there, they're equal, so it makes kind of like a triangle, right? Whereas, so that's only Honda, that's only a Honda part. Whereas this one, you can see the tabs are not quite lined up like that. They're not even. So if you try and put this in here, it doesn't fit inside where it's supposed to. It won't line up. See, those tabs don't line up now. This is a normal like H4 bulb you can get anywhere. Whereas that one, you have to go to the Honda dealership to get it. I think it was back in the day when this bike came out, they were super expensive. They were like 40 bucks for this bulb each. Now they're like 9 bucks, or they're like a normal price. So it was pointless. I don't know why they did that. They tried to make money off headlights. I guess the reason actually was, so they're 12 volt, 45 watt high beam, 45 watt low beam. So they were trying to, I don't know, not have you use a super hot bulb. But nowadays, like this, with this LED bulb, it shouldn't be, it's going to be way brighter than that, and it should be not as hot. It should run cooler. Anyway, what you do to get it to fit is, you can see this top one. So actually the tab right here on the left next to that screw, that's the one you're going to line up. And then if you see on the top, you just need to cut off this little bit right here. So you're going to widen this area all the way out to this edge right there. And that'll allow the big tab to fit. And then down here, this tab is nowhere close. So right where this dot is, you're going to cut out a tab that size. So you do those, you just modify these two right here, and then it'll fit. It'll drop in there, and you can use your spring to secure it. So yeah, once you modify these two tabs, it's going to line up just right. It's going to be slightly off center, but it'll work. There you go. So right there, right just to the right of this, you're going to cut that tab. That's how you can do LED headlights, or any one you want. Anyway, that's it. Thanks. So here's the finished headlight. You can see you actually have to come over further than I thought, so you're going to take just a little bit off this piece here, and then down here I just made a new notch. I actually used these, I just chipped away at it a little bit. Could use a Dremel tool, probably work better. But this thing will just fit right in. Boom. There you go. That's it.